G'day everybody and welcome back to Apio Puzzles and this evening edition. Tonight I'm going to solve a cryptic crossword from Chris Black in the big issue. Now it's far too long since I've solved a big issue cryptic. The stable of setters they have there are excellent and so I'm going to put that right. I've actually gone to the library today and made copies of a few back issues of this, and moving forward I'm going to try and make sure I get a copy each week or each whatever the cycle is, and keep on top of them because these are really genuinely some of the best cryptics you can find. So let's go. I'll put the link in the description if you'd like to give this a try yourself. Chris is a brilliant setter, so this stands to be a great crossword. Let us see how we go. We'll start with 9 across. Take on commercial job, essentially part-time. So this is pretty straightforward cryptic-ese. A commercial is add, the essential letter of job is the central letter, the O, and part-time is PT, and adopt means take on. 1 down, get ready, struggle with face of make up. So I think get ready will be the definition, feels that way. A word for struggle with the face of make for M, and all of that reversed, or see, it's funny with being 4-2. It would often have an up in there. Not sure. Let's come to 11. Aimed to change the press. Well, that is media, a straightforward anagram of aimed. I'll come back to that in a second. Let's try something different. 2 down. Nobel laureate's novel, Bland Boy. Well, do we need to know a Nobel laureate? That might be difficult. An anagram of Bland Boy, it looks like. Oh, well, this is Bob Dylan. I couldn't have told you that he had won, well, he was a Nobel laureate, but apparently so. Let us try this one then, so we can get the complement of crossing letters for 1 down. Boy goes through pain to become a knight. Well, we have an L in place, so that could be lad. Oh, and pain can just be literally pain for paladin. That's a word that I'm not very familiar with, but it does sound like something that relates to knights. And it gives us 1 down with a P at the end, so that is 99% of the time going to be an up. So perhaps that up really is literally in the clue, which it's a bit unusual, but I guess 1 and 2 letter words sometimes are literally placed. Face of make is M, so we need a 3-letter word for struggle, and the whole thing means get up. Get ready rather. This is going to be warm up, so war being a struggle. Very nice. 3 down. Doctor taken aside for dish. So an anagram of taken aside, most likely we're going to doctor it to get a new word that means probably a type of food. We've got T and A and D in the second word. I've got a K. Well, is this a steak something? I mean, steak. Steak Denis. Again, I wouldn't have been able to name that one probably, but I have heard of it. I think that's right. Let's try 4 down. Undergrads dare to take sides in exploits. Looks like the definition's at this end, because we're probably going to take the side letters of exploits, I guess. So if the definition is undergrads, could be students, let's try that. Dare to take sides in exploits. Is a stunt a dare? Ah, no. The D and the E are the sides of dare, and they're inside stunts, which are exploits. Okay, very nice. 10 across. The finalists quit part of experiment running three-legged race. That's quite a long clue. We've got the at the beginning, which is a bit unusual. That's often going to be a literal. Let's imagine it was. Not sure how three. Yeah, let's come back with that for a second. The finalist, unless the finalist is indication for the final letter of. Okay. What about the final letter quitting part of experiment? Trial? Oh yeah, actually that's a triathlon. Nice. So trial is part of an experiment, but the final letter quitting, and then we have THLON. Where's that coming from? Part of experiment, trial. Oh, that's weird. No, the without its final letter is TH, and that is inside of trial. Running is on. Okay, yeah, I didn't notice that is not part of the definition. Running is on, as if something's working or it's turned on, then it's running, and we get triathlon. Very nice. Okay, got there eventually. Number 5, laid phone lines to make this type of connection. Laid phone lines to make this type of connection, question mark, 4-2. What about dial-up? Yeah, well, laid is an anagram of dial, phone, laid phone lines. I feel like that has to be right. I'm not going to put it in, but I'll come back and try to pass it if I confirm that it's probably correct. Capital agency ignored banks, empty rigor. So ignoring banks is likely to be some word taking its outside letters off. Empty rigor quite likely would be, well, the word rigor emptied out. Capital might be the definition, a capital city. Agency, ignored banks. Agency could be a business, but also like one's agency is one's like will or something. Ignored banks, empty rigor seems weird, like double R doesn't seem likely at the end at least. What was I thinking? DIAL. Actually, I wonder if this fits as a capital agency. I don't know if that's what they are. Ignored banks, empty rigor. I can't really see. I don't even know if that's what it's called. It might be Deloitte. Let's come back. 6 down. Essential to test a guess game. So this is stag, I think. The essential part of this expression is those letters, and I'm not familiar with the game stag, but it does sound vaguely game-like. Oh, game as in a stag animal game. Okay, very good. So a deer or that kind of thing. So cool, 7 across. I think there's just a G there, which will be useful. So 7 down. London's not working. the second time, live or live outside fair. Gosh, that is an unusually long clue. I think this is going to maybe be this. London's not working. So live outside, to live is to be, and that's going to go outside, although there's a whole lot of other stuff going on, isn't there? Or maybe the whole thing means fair. And then, so live is outside of this business. London's not working. Is that a Cockney thing? If something's not working the second time, ST, and the whole thing means fair. This is blonde. I see, yes, this is blonde. And London not working is London without the word on, because working means on. So we get Lund. Well, not working the second time. So there's on and there's on. So the second on is not working, is not there. And then we put all that inside B and we get blonde, which is fair. Wow, that was quite a convoluted clue. Neat on the rocks and put out feelers, and it looks like some sort of anagram. Antennae, I believe, or antennas maybe, but so we've got ANTE as an anagram. On the rocks, I see, neat is, on the rocks is the anagram indicator for neat, and then we have an also being anagrammed, it's being put out, and then that gets us antennae, which is feelers. Very good. Let's try 14 across. In favour of the lions occasionally getting key food group, so wrong one there. And this looks like protein. In favour of is pro. The lions occasionally is TEIN, every second letter, and that gets our food group. This does look like dial up. We're left with this quite unusual looking word. Diligence is rigor. Capital agency ignored banks. So agency was ignoring its bank in the middle. I did think about this being part of it, but it just didn't seem likely, but it is. So that empty is E and the capital is Dilly. So there we go. That's the top of the grid basically done. Let's try this. 16. Herd child shake up desserts. So desserts. Actually, that's a bit odd because this could be Sundays. Child being sun with an O, spelt differently because of the herd homophone indicator. And then, but shake up would have to be that, which doesn't look correct. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be steak to knee. Might be wrong on that actually, but let's try to get 16 down. That's probably going to be an easier way. Compound is held up violently. So this being an anagram of is held up, I think. And we're going to look for a compound. So a chemical compound or a building of some sort. We've got a shed in there. What's the compound? Sulfide. There's a great story on it's to do with a Scrabble play from Nigel Richards, who used a variant on this word that only, or he challenged a variant on this word that I'm not going to be able to tell the story properly, unfortunately, but if I remember, I'll tried to look it up and put a link to it. It's quite funny. Not funny, interesting and impressive. 19. They're on board with snakes, large snakes. I was going to say ladders. Yes, actually it is ladders. So this stake to me must be wrong. So large snakes are owl adders, and they're on the board with snakes and ladders. If that was, well, I mean, surely it's stake though. Where else is the K gonna go? And if it's an anagram of Dennis, there's not going to be an A for Sundays. And I don't think the anagram had 2 A's in it. Oh, actually it does. Oh, well, that changed everything, because steak and E couldn't have been right. So what is this a dish? Is it Drake? There's got to be a K somewhere. Or can it still be steak? Steak and then A-D-I-E-N. Steak Diane, right, okay. Well, you're probably screaming at me earlier, and that does allow for Sundays, although that then raises the question of why shake up is that. Oh, sorry. The whole thing's a homophone. So days. I guess days means shake up. Not sure, as in D-A-Z-E, but I think that must be right. That's not a Y, is it? No. Okay, we'll go with that. 20 down. Divine Shield, faltered. So it looks like an anagram. And this is Delish, which is divine. 24. New logo harms projected figures. This is holograms. It's an anagram of logo harms being made new. 27. Renegade agents return to in Dead Reckoning Part 5. Good grief. What is this going to be? Because like renegade is the definition. Agents returning in Dead Reckoning Part 5. That's maybe Reckoning Part 5 is just the O. Oh yeah, this is probably this. So D-E-A-D and the O from Reckoning. And we've got reps going backwards inside. Very good. 25. Delight in Google Earth. Glee. And that's just a hidden with the in as the indicator for that. 21. Article following fake witch doctor. So shaman. I think I've actually written a clue for shaman that was almost identical to that at some point in my life. Yeah, it was based on the idea of a fake article. Cool. That was a bit of a win. 17 down. Canteen contains Friar's beer ingredient. Hops comes to mind. Yeah, so this will be tuck shop. So Friar's is tuck, or tucks rather, and then beer ingredient is hop, and put all that together we get a canteen. 17 across. Twitch model resells first virtual token. So it's probably going to be Twitch as the definition. Model for T, resells first. Is it Tremble? First virtual token. Yeah, well, I was going to say emblem. Somehow we're taking off the final letter, but no, I'm not sure about that. Model resells first virtual, so an anagram of token. That means Twitch. Not sure about that. TOKN. That might not be right. We'll come back around. 15 down. Old Europe has developed anagram site for performances. So this is an opera house. Anagram of Old Europe, or O Europe has. O for old, Europe has 10 letters rearranged. That does look like Tremble, doesn't it? And it's not an anagram of token, so come back still. 22. Creative sticks unknown into Narcos broadcast. So unknowns will be X or Y inside of Narcos as an anagram. Creative sticks. So this will be presumably a musical instrument. Oh no, crayons. Y being the unknown variable, and crayons is an anagram of Narcos. 28. Good vibrations. Quotes. This is a classic kind of minimal clue from Chris that's probably got some fabulous parsing. Let's think. Wow, is this songs or sound or something, like, because good vibrations is a song and songs are vibrations. Not sure, that seems a bit of a stretch. Let's try get another letter. Disgruntled leaders of Rome, the Ides of March. So I was going to say this is leading letters, but actually it's not. The Ides of March. An S. Interesting. I can't. If you're disgruntled, you are. I don't really know much about the Ides of March. What is leaders doing? It could be these leading letters, or these, or something like that. But I think it's more likely those. Curious. Let's try 18. Did we try that already? No. Reserve part of deck for meeting to review accounts. So book something. Reserve part of deck for meeting to review accounts. It does look like a B because this would be Tremble. To come back and pass that. So let's try 26. I don't think I tried that. No, take place of naked rock dog. So this is occur. Naked rock is the middle letters, and then dog is a cur. So now we've got book club. Most likely, I would think. Let's just see what that was again. Reserve book, part of deck. Meeting to review accounts. Is that to review one's accounts of as in to review stories. I guess it is. Part of deck is a club. Part of a deck of cards is a club. That is quite cunning. Well done there, Chris. Now we have a U here, so that is not, well, maybe it is sound. Good vibrations are sound. Still not entirely sure about that. Because that's literally true. Good vibrations are, or vibrations are sound, but, oh, right, it's a double definition. Vibrations are sound, and good, if something's sound, it's solid, it's reliable, it's good. Aha. Now, almost done. 23. Disgruntled leaders of Rome, the Ides of March. What is this word? Well, we've got S, R, and D, which are letters that appear, well, there's an S and a D in there, there's an R there, they're in here as well. But I just can't think of a word here. Feels like these would both be vowels. It's definitely a cur. Crayons is right. Sound feels correct. Okay, now let me briefly come to this, which I needed to pass. Twitch model. So Twitch is tremble, model is T, resales first would be the R, and then emble is a virtual token. So an emblem is a token, and virtual means almost all of it. Okay, so that's that settled. I don't think I ever fully understood dial up. Laid. Wow. Oh, I see. Laid going up is, or dial going up is laid. And then phone lines to make this time. Not really sure. It looks like dial up is this kind of like, I don't know what they call, like a reverse clue, where the answer itself needs to be treated like a cryptic clue. So dial up would be laid, but then phone lines to make this type of connection. It's a slightly awkward definition at that point. But I think it's something along those lines that's going on. Do leave a message if you've got a better explanation. So I think that just leaves 23 down to be not only explained, but solved in the first place. Disgruntled leaders of Rome. Well, what were the leaders? Who were the leaders of Rome? Is that actual people? Well, leaders, hang on, what about leaders of Rome being R and O? The Ides of March. So this is going to be an A, E. This might be a term, I just don't know. Well, also, it could be disgruntled leaders is the definition. But no, I feel like leaders of Rome would be more likely. With that. So I'll just double check. I don't remember fully passing this. Creative Six Crayon. Oh yeah, that was Narcos with the Y, so that is correct. Sound, I'm 99% sure. So I might have to abandon ship and do a Google search at this point, because I can't think of a common word that fits there, and none of the wordplay, nothing about this clue is making sense to me. I'll probably kick myself when I find the answer. A march of March. What if we take the leaders, if we take them off, because it's just that they're disgruntled, so they're, could that be possible? I'm not sure still how that's going to play out. And it would mean that the final answer did mean something down here. No, I'm gonna presume I don't know what's going on here, which obviously I don't. SRD. Let's have a look. Hopefully you can see this. Let me just check what you can see. It's a bit wonky, but we'll see how we go. SRD. Ooh, well, there are some words. I hadn't thought of that consonant. So stride, strode, shreds. Well, it's probably, well, strata, maybe that's. So stride, strodes, shreds, what are we even looking at? March to stride, okay, wow. Let's see, that is going to be the answer, I assume, which my software doesn't know, but now let's see. Stride is march. Oh, we do have eyed. It's not a hidden, no. Well, we've got an anagram of ides. Oh, wow, that's quite tricky in terms of, we've got the leaders of Rome and the, which is RT, and then the word ides. All of that is disgruntled, which is to say rearranged, and that gives stride. Wow, that's tricky. I mean, in hindsight now, it feels a bit more obvious, but it's fairly uncommon to have anagram fodder represented by a separate element of wordplay and then the rest of the fodder. Hence the question mark as well. That's a justified question mark. So there we go. That was a brilliant crossword as ever from Chris. It's actually easier than I expected. I think in the past I've often found Chris's, I'm just realizing this has gone a bit wonky, but at this point we're okay. I've often found Chris's crosswords harder than this one and harder than the average that you might find from someone like Liam. But this one was pretty approachable apart from one or two clues that had me stumped, and then this final one that yeah, really, I'm just trying to think of a pun on this that put me off my stride or something like that. I'll have to review this for some potential golden waffle winners or candidates. I didn't actually pay great attention today to surface readings, which it's good to do that because often the better clues are the ones that there's something really cunning or funny about the surface reading. So I'll have to try to make a point of paying more attention to that in my future solves. But for now, I hope you enjoyed the solve. I hope you had a go yourself and were successful. Do leave a comment or subscribe if you'd like to see more of this kind of content. And thanks for being with me. I will see you all soon. Happy puzzling until then.